This is the Saturday, August 1st, 2020 edition of the Dark Illumination Report Podcast Extra. On this episode of the podcast, I'm going to be answering a question that comes from Aaron, who asked, if the joy of Satan does not worship Satan, who are they actually worshiping, or who are they in contact with?
This is a Dark Illumination Report Extra with RJ Womack.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for this episode of the show. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope everybody's doing well. On today's show, I'm going to be answering a question from Aaron, who asked me, if the joy of Satan doesn't worship Satan, or if that's not the power they're in contact with, who are they in contact with? And the easiest answer is to say, I don't think the joy of Satan's in contact with anybody or anything other than Maxine's ego. I think that she has always stolen her information from people that have been a part of her organization. That's why some people believe that her teachings are genuine, because she took accounts of people who actually had experiences with Satan and demons, and she basically used them for her own benefit and claimed that she had them herself. So I think a lot of what she does is based on the experiences of other people. You have to realize that the purpose of the joy of Satan is not to promote Satanism, or it wasn't. I don't know if they're still around. I've heard that they've changed their name and kind of went underground, but I don't know if that's true. But anyway, the purpose of their organization was to promote neo-Nazism, to promote racism, not to promote Satanism. Satanism was just the vehicle by which they attracted people to their religion. Most of their beliefs are based on the ideas of Zechariah Stitchin, which are that Satan is an alien that comes from the planet Nibiru, and they refer to him as Inky. So whenever you hear anybody talk about Satan as Inky, you can almost guarantee that they're associated or were associated with the joy of Satan. And so I don't give them any credibility whatsoever as a satanic organization. I don't give them any serious consideration. And people will say to me, well, her meditations are good. Well, some of her practices are good. Well, you can be a good writer and you can have good magical techniques or good techniques of mysticism, but it doesn't mean you believe in Satan, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're in contact with Satan. This is the problem with our society. We believe that because something is written well, it means the people that wrote it actually believe in what they're writing. That's not true. As Donald Tyson stated in his book, New Millennium Magic, I believe it was, and I mentioned this before on this podcast, he was a author that had many books published by major publishers. And he said he knew for a fact that many of the occult authors that he worked with did not actually believe in nor practice the stuff that they wrote about. They wrote about it for money. So you have to understand that in this culture where everything's about social media and the internet, everybody thinks that just because something is popular, because something has a lot of likes, it somehow means it's good or it's accurate. And that's not true. You can't judge the seriousness of the content of someone based on how many people like it or how popular it is, because it doesn't always reflect whether that information is accurate or whether that information is useful. And until people start getting that through their head, they're always going to fall prey to shysters and charlatans and people that use Satanism and diabolism for their own purposes. And that's one of the reasons why I get angry with people, because when are you going to grow up? When are you going to understand that there are people out there who don't believe in this religion and they use it just for their own benefit? They don't believe in Satan. They don't believe in the demons, and they are just con artists. That's all they're here for. That's all they're about. They don't believe in any of this stuff. They're just out there trying to rip you off and trying to make money off of you. And all of us know people like that. And we all know people in this community that are like that. People may not like me saying that. They may get mad at me for being honest about it. But hey, I'm going to keep it real on this podcast. I'm going to tell you like it is. And if people don't like me because I tell the truth, well, the hell with them. I'm here to serve Satan. I'm here to serve the people who worship Satan. I'm not here to serve any fucking buddy. And I really don't care who doesn't like me or who thinks whatever. If I think somebody's full of shit, I'm going to come on this podcast and tell you that I think they're full of shit. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I've started this new tradition, why I'm starting this new tradition of diabolism, because I want to get away from all these fake people. And the only way I can guarantee that I get away from these fake people is to start my own tradition to start my own system of occultism so that I know that I started it with a genuine desire to serve Satan. And I can be around people that share the same interest in Satanism and want to live a devotional life and dedicate themselves to diabolism the way that I want to. And the other thing you have to understand is that this whole philosophy of Inky worship and the planet Nibiru and UFOs and space aliens, all that stuff has been discredited by scholars of Mesopotamian religion and who have studied cuneiform and who know what the actual texts are talking about. You know, Zechariah Stitchin has been discredited years and years ago by actual scholars and actual archaeologists. But unfortunately, there are still people who believe in it because he still has popularity, and his writings still have popularity because of shows like Coast to Coast AM and the other paranormal shows that are out there. And even though he's been largely discredited and nobody takes him seriously, you have people basing their whole religion on this inaccurate information this guy puts out. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't give them any credibility. And it's one of the reasons why I've moved away from Satanism, because you have idiots out there pretending like they know shit about Satanism and pretending they know shit about Satan that they clearly don't, because they don't even know enough to know that their archaeology is inaccurate. You know, I mean, that's how stupid they are. And besides, people like Maxine are out to promote racism, anti-Semitic beliefs. They're not out to promote Satanism. Don't ever let anybody tell you that Maxine is about Satanism, because she is not. She never has been. She never will be. She has lied many, many times, and she lies about her communications. That's been proven by people that have left her group. That's not just me saying that. That's her former priesthood that has said that. So that's what I have to say about the joy of Satan. And that's the only thing I will say about the joy of Satan, because they're not worth taking time on this podcast to discuss them. The whole reason I'm trying to do a new tradition is so I don't have to keep answering these questions about organizations that have nothing to do with my religion or my God.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Illumination Report podcast. For the latest news headlines, show information, and more, go to rjwomack.com. That's RJWOMACK.